So we are here in a Year 12 economics lesson to witness a Harkness style discussion.
What I want you to do, think about the task you were set to research. The proposal to put VAT on private school fees by the Labour Party if they win the election on the 4th of July. So in your three groups, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to spend 5 minutes discussing what it is that you found out about that proposal. Okay? Off you go.
So a Harkness style discussion disrupts our traditional seating plan with students in rows and teacher at the front. It's a circular table where all students are involved in the discussion and are at the heart of the learning. We are trying to promote agency and participation and replicate what students are going to go on to experience beyond Berkhamsted in the world of higher education or the workplace.
So we're talking about VAT tax on private school fees. So I think, especially since we've studied this before, it's good to apply our knowledge into a real world event right now.
In the Harkness style layout, we discussed about what VAT meant and how it would have the implications of who it would affect in the economy, and we talked about statistics. We gathered before the class, we had some data that we gathered that we could help for our argument, and then we sat around the table in the Harkness style and we discussed, basically compared the data that we collected and how we can evaluate it.
So Nikki, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw up a Harkness circle with a map of the room, and as this conversation starts, I'd like you to record who is speaking to who until we say the conversation is going to finish. And then what I want you to do is, whilst you're doing that, is also observe the conversation. What do you notice about the conversation? Do some people speak a lot? Do some people not speak so much? What's the quality like of it? We're going to ask questions. We're not going to be afraid to be challenged if we've got an opinion about something, and we're going to add to that. But it's always going to come with treating one another with respect. Okay? So what I've created for you in OneNote is a place where you can log things like definitions, why does it matter, and the key statistics. But our first discussion is actually going to be about the economic advantages of imposing VAT on private school fees. Okay? So, Nikki, you ready to go with the map?
Yep.
Okay.
So the Harkness base is a circle. It's kind of more about pupil facing it's kind of, you're on the same level as the teacher. And it's more about your discussion and your rebounding of ideas. And the problem in this scenario, actually, the level of tax rather than the actual theory of taxing. It's still a great way to increase engagement and encourage the idea of the collective class rather than just teacher versus student.
Suddenly the government aren't getting as much VAT tax as well. Because I think when you get to university, there's a lot of group sessions where you're working together. I think the Harkness style lesson imitates that.
I'm going to bring Nikki in here. Nikki, you drew a diagram earlier on, the Laffer curve. How could you apply the Laffer curve theory to what Abby just said there about going all in on the tax?
Okay, so this is the Laffer curve, which shows tax revenue on the y-axis and tax rate on the x-axis.
So currently teachers are enjoying experimenting with Harkness style discussions to form portions of lessons. In our brand new sixth form centre, we welcome the opportunity with the space that's afforded to us to do this more frequently, to allow pupils to experience this and become more confident with this style of discussion and learning.